All right, Niner Faithful, this is Dion back here, your 49er reporter, reporting on any and everything 49ers. Now, we've got to get to this game here, y'all. It was an unfortunate loss, but a better loss than I expected nonetheless. Now, both of our losses, we have lost on field goals, basically by 3 points. And basically by teams that everyone states we're going to get blown out by, or we're not ready for, or we can't do this, we can't do that. So, with that being said, just going to give it to you straight, no chaser. Please hit like, please hit the subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? Trying to continue to grow the channel to get to a point where we can do live streaming and a whole host of other things so I can answer any questions and, go ahead and address anything that y'all think may be going on. It's going to be very, very simple. This was a hard-fought game. Like, we gave it to them in every way, shape, and form. We did everything that we could. We fought as hard as we could. We gave them all we had, and they gave it right back. The Baltimore Ravens defense is definitely something to be respected. I give them that much. But our defense is to be respected as well. So here's the thing. All the commentators were like, y'all ain't ready for Lamar Jackson. Y'all can't do this. Y'all can't do that. Oh, the 49ers are going to get blown out. How are they going to stop them? What can they do? Hopefully tomorrow we have a lot of commentators still eating crow, even though the Ravens won. Because at the end of the day, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to ride that gravy train. They're going to jump on it. Stephen A. Smith's going to be the first one. I told y'all that the Ravens was going to beat them, blah, 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 blah. They scored 20 points. Not their previous scores were ridiculously high, if I'm not mistaken. So let's take a look. Last 3 games before they played us, let's see, we have 49, 41, 47. Actually, we've held them to their lowest output of the season. Every other game, they've scored more than 20 points. I'm just saying, I'm just saying. So, them winning on that field goal, hey, it is what it is. That's perfectly fine. I'm not finna sit up there and try to say that they, aren't great or they weren't good. Hey, they won. You know what I'm saying? They got the W. You got to respect that. So at the end of the day, we held them to their lowest output of the season. You know what I'm saying? Every other team has not allowed them to, has allowed them to get over 20 points. We held them to the lowest output, and we almost wound up in a situation where we would have went to OT had Robbie not missed that field goal earlier in the game. So I'm not going to sit up here and say that there's anything wrong with our defense or that this was the worst loss or anything. The only hard part about this is for us in the NFC, it puts us behind the 8 ball. Because if the Seahawks win tonight because they beat us early in the season, they jump us for, the lead as far as, the NFC West. And the only other thing is oddly enough, because of the way things work in the NFL, it's not all based on record. It is based on division. So if we don't win our division, then we could wind up a wild card at 10-2. You didn't think about that. The other teams out there are not as good as we are. And we could wind up a wild card at 10-2. But this is what I'm going to tell y'all, man. Like, the beauty of this game was it was a hard-fought game, and the defense did what they needed to do. The only thing I would say, and the only critique I would give, is that we cannot continue on offense to wind up, not having good drives and having drives that don't turn into touchdowns or don't turn into at least a field goal. We have to continue to score, especially against, teams like this, because though Lamar didn't, do overkill on us as far as, the run was concerned, he didn't go, completely nuts. Lamar Jackson had 16 carries for 101 yards and 1 touchdown. He was 14 for 23 with 105 yards and 1 touchdown passing. So you have to think about that. Those are some seriously low outputs. And his last game wasn't even that great as far as passing went, but he operates on such a short field because they rely heavily on the run. Now, one thing that we did do that a lot of teams haven't been able to do is we held them under 200 yards rushing. and we got them to give up 174. Raheem Mostert ran all over that defense. He had 19 carries for 146 yards. That man was averaging 7.7 yards a carry. That's ridiculous. That's full-on ridiculous. Debo came on the end around. He had 20 yards. You know what I'm saying? So we couldn't get, touchdown TC going. It wasn't working with him. So we went ahead and we said, all right, cool. We're just going to go to Raheem. And we went to Raheem and we did it. So what does that say? What I've been saying all year, that our offense has so many good running backs, we can mix it up. We don't need to have just a specific person that's going to get the job done. Debo is becoming a star, people. Right before our eyes. Debo is a full-on star, man. Like that dude, every game he does something different or spectacular, man. I mean, I feel like, had he had more of a better year, and we hadn't worked him in, to a bigger fall, he could have been Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think Bosa's got a good tight hold on that Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's working out very, very well. But what I will say is, this wasn't a bad loss. And even when we lost to Seattle, it was on a field goal. This game, the one thing I can say is we had a hard time with, slowing Lamar down. And had we been able to make sure that I think we should have kept a spy on him. And it doesn't look like they did that. It looks like they just figured, well, if we just play sound football, sound defense, and, control our gaps and just do our jobs, everything will fall into place. It works out that way to an extent, but at the same time, you have to remember, Lamar Jackson is not to be, ignored and or played with. It's really hard to get him down. He's got a stutter step that's nasty. He made K'Wan look full on stupid. I'm actually looking at the play right now. K'Wan, boy, if that was basketball, boy, your ankles are broken. You need no reason to be on the court anymore. But, that's bound to happen when you play a guy like Lamar Jackson, because he is that dynamic. I give him credit, for that much. But I can tell you right now, our defense played their asses off. We could have had a couple more things on offense go our way. And, we wound up getting pinned in the end zone. But the thing that really killed us, honestly, was we wasted our timeouts. Had we had our 3 timeouts, we have a chance to be able to go ahead and try to put the W up on them, or try to get downfield to kick another field goal, take this shit to OT, but we wasted our timeouts, and I don't feel like we had a spy on Lamar at all. From looking at it from a defensive standpoint, watching this full game, it looks like we did not do that. And that's one of the things that you have to do against a guy like that. And our defense played admirably. We held them only to 20 points. Like I said, it's their lowest output all year long, whether it be in their wins or even their losses. They've never put up less than 20 points. So we got them to that. So, when people say this is a possibility of a Super Bowl preview, if it is, then I can tell you this. The thing is that hopefully it won't be as raining and, having the bad weather conditions and things of that nature. I don't know what's going on with Sherm yet. I haven't seen any reports, because I know he kind of wound up trying to go back on the field, but then he went back off. So once we get a report on Sherm, I'll let y'all know what's going on with that. But, to be honest with you, man, we played a hell of a game. This was a hard-fought game. It was more of a defensive struggle. Jimmy had a touchdown. Heem had a touchdown. So both teams basically were running on 2 touchdowns and a field goals. And they just had one better than, what we did. And you know what we did? We stopped them on 4th down. They didn't have, like all those conversions like they normally do. We were stuffing them, man. And another thing that we did was we had them punting. They punted twice. Baltimore doesn't punt. It's extremely rare that they punt. So the one thing that I want people to take away from this game is we showed that they can be exposed and they can be stopped. And it was shown earlier in the year that they could be exposed and stopped with their 2 losses that they had before. And I can tell you right now, man, Lamar going to be thinking to himself, man, I don't think I'm going to go up against their ass again. I really don't. Nope. I don't want to go up against them at all. Because he's going to look and say, you know what, man, they got after me. We made him do things that he didn't do. We forced that team into situations that they hadn't been in, since those last 2 losses. But what did we do? We came out there, we fought, we played hard, we gave it everything we had. Just shout out to Debo and shout out to Raheem for holding it down for us as far as scoring. Robbie made one field goal, but he missed a crucial one when we needed it. And he had the length on the field goal that just went wide right. Not very far wide right, but just, a little bit. He didn't chase McLaughlin on that joint. He kicked it so far off that we didn't have no chance. He just wound up hooking it to the side just a little bit. If it had been at least about 4 inches inside, we'd have been fine, and he would have made that field goal. We probably would have been in OT. But I'm not saddened by this loss, and I don't take this loss as a situation where we need to panic or something's going wrong or anything like that. I feel like we did a very good job against them, man. Next week we got the Saints, and that's going to be a situation where we got to go into a dome. So to be honest with you, a dome favors us. Why? Because there's no weather conditions that you can think of that's going to stop us. We don't have anything that's inclement in there that's just controlled environment. So we can go into that dome and do what we got to do and get after these Saints. And I'll give y'all the preview game on the Saints a little bit later in the week. I got a little research to do on them, kind of see what they got going on. But period, point blank, there's no reason for us to be saddened by this loss. We don't need to push a panic button. I already know the commentators going to come out tomorrow. Oh, Jimmy G can't get it done. He's this, he's that, and they're going to shoot on us and call us weak and whack. When what kills me is y'all don't. It seems like it's just their job that they're doing, because if you really watch the game and you see what happened, you know what that tells me? That was a hard-fought game, and the Ravens ain't looked like that all year long. Even in their losses, they've been extremely competitive. We slowed them way down. Typically, as far as rushing goes, they usually have Lamar and Mark Ingram either at the 100-yard mark or over it. Mark Ingram had 15 carries for 59 yards. That's 3.9 yards a carry. In his last few games, he was over 100 yards. This defense is for real. And we hung in there with them as best we could on offense. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to sit up there and say this is a horrible thing for Jimmy G. He 165, 7.9 yards per attempt, and 1 touchdown. He was sacked twice, but Lamar was also sacked. We caught him slipping. Marshall Harris with the strip, like for real, that was a nasty strip. He took that ball right out of his hands. And, what that did was that frustrated Lamar. And you could tell. He slammed his helmet on the sideline, everything. So our defense did their damn job. The only thing I can say is there in these moments, this is what most of the commentators are talking about. Like, can Jimmy G lead you down the field? Can he do this? Can he do that? Can he put you in a position to win? And there were a few errant throws that he needed to actually make versus, us actually being able to get over the hump. There were definitely a few penalties that could not have happened, but in today's NFL, they're going to happen. Why? Because they call like the worst penalties in the fucking world. You'll have these damn ticky-tack ass fouls. You look at the quarterback wrong, and they're 15 yards. Why? You looked at him wrong. You made him feel bad. You hurt his feelings. Like, come on, people, really? So, at the end of the day, we can't complain about these penalties. So we just got to deal with them and keep on moving and keep on pushing. But what I can tell you is, this is not a loss, once again, that we need to be worried about at all. Baltimore was a great game. We gave everybody a game that they wanted to see. We did exactly what we were supposed to do. And if anybody tells you different, they're lying to you. This was a hard-fought game. We gave Baltimore everything that we had, and I guarantee you at the end of the day, they're looking at us going, we respect that team. That team is better than people gave them credit for, and we didn't know that we were going to go up against them and have to face all of this, this whole pass rush and having these guys in there. And they stopped us on 4th down a couple of times, and all this other like that. That was the whole thing, man, because that's what they wanted. They wanted to be able to do what they could do. They were 2 for 3 on 4th down, but that one stop, was definitely letting them know that we weren't playing. You know what I mean? So the second half was really good for us because what we did was we started bleeding the clock. We ran that ball so much in that third quarter, it ate up damn near the whole fucking thing. Like, we ate up as much as we possibly could because we wanted to. So, you got to think about it from that standpoint, man. We did what the hell we were supposed to do. We were only 4 yards behind them in rushing. They had 178. We had 174. You know what I mean? And we actually averaged more rushing yards than they did. We averaged 6.6 yards per rush. They averaged 4. So, You know, the other thing, like I said, the penalties. We had 6 penalties for 54 yards. And only had 3 for 23. You know, there was 2 turnovers by both teams. Both were fumbles. And, you know, the defenses recovered in those situations. You know, but there was no interceptions thrown by Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? The thing is they, in the first half, they controlled the shit out of the clock because they were running the ball. And that's how you control the clock. You run the ball, the time just keeps ticking and ticking and ticking. So they beat us out for possession for the total game. 32-26 to 27-34. Now that's not a seriously crazy gap. It's about more or less about, I would say about 5-6 minutes. You know, maybe a little bit less than that, but it's not, you know, too crazy to a point where that's what it, you know, where we're looking like, oh my God. So we had, you know, more total yards than they did. They had 283. We had 331. But at the end of the day, this was a loss. But I'm not panicking on this loss, not by any stretch of the imagination. I would have loved for us to win because we would have proved people wrong. And at the end of the day, we would have laughed in people's faces. Oh, man, look at the 49ers. They can't do nothing. They ain't nothing. You know, they lost. You know, this is all that's going to happen. Everybody's going to come out and just swear up and down that we suck and we're this and we're that. People don't listen to the haters and don't listen to these commentators. They obviously don't watch a game of football and they obviously don't pay any attention to anything. Because Colin Cowherd and Stephen A. Smith and all these other people, all they want to do is just sit up here and put us down and make us feel like we ain't that great. We still are that great. Every great team loses. We weren't going to go undefeated, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? We have a hard stretch, but we play hard every game. And like I said, our only 2 losses, we only lost by a field goal. Period. But next time y'all see me, man, we're going to have a video on the New Orleans Saints and what we got coming with them. I feel like we can still go in there and win that game, and we should be able to do it. The only thing I will say is I don't like Robbie missing field goals. I don't. I understand the conditions sucked and everything like that, but I don't like him missing field goals, man. I really don't. And he has not had a necessarily great year kicking the ball. He has missed some crucial field goals for us. So, you know, and like I said earlier in just a little preview video, McLaughlin hasn't been dropped. They kept him on the squad. He was just inactive today. Typically, if that was the situation, they would go ahead and they would just cut him because we have Robbie, he's back. If he winds up continually being inactive, then you know what that says? Robbie, you keep missing field goals, put this kid back in. Fuck it. I'm not saying that I think that McLaughlin is better than Robbie because Robbie is a valuable veteran, but he can't keep missing these damn kicks, man. He can't keep missing them. There's just been too many times this year where he's missed kicks, and we've had to fortunately been able to go out there and not have to worry about it. But in these types of situations, you're the money guy. So we need you to make these field goals, hit these field goals, do what you need to do, and get it done. At the end of the day, baby, it's a loss, but it wasn't a bad loss. Don't listen to these commentators and these haters out here. They're going to come out tomorrow and swear we wasn't nothing and not even give us credit for the fact that we done held them to their lowest offensive output all fucking season. They only scored 2 goddamn touchdowns. And they kicked 2 field goals. And that literally was it. You know, so y'all can't sit up here and tell me that we ain't great, that defense didn't show y'all something. We just got to make sure that on the offensive side of the ball, we take every opportunity to make sure that we score some kind of points, that we kick a field goal or we score a touchdown every single time we get the ball. Because when you're playing teams like this, you don't want to go down to the wire. But either way, we made plays, we did what we had to do, and we played a hell of a fucking game. I am not sad by any stretch of the imagination. I'll show you my smile because at the end of the day, I'm still a Niner fan. I'm still Niner faithful. We still are the Niner gang. Bang, bang, Niner gang, in the words of E40. And we got this. Don't stress. Stay blessed. Have a nice day.